It's time for Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here is your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
As I was walking down the street one day, a man came up to me and asked me what the time was that was on my watch.
It's good to be back.
Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome in, everybody. J-Mo, good to see your smiling face. John Harden behind you. It's just good to be back in Memphis. Here's some breaking news that I love. So I feel so close and proud of Memphis. This story just out, if I can find it very quickly. St. Jude has committed almost $13 billion, $12.9 billion to accelerate research and treatment for children around the world with cancer and other catastrophic diseases. You know, when you go to other cities, Memphis is recognized as the home of St. Jude. I mean, it is definitely a major part of what this city stands for. And that's just happening. It was not in my notes for the beginning of the show, but it just came out, and it's such a good, positive story. Congratulations to St. Jude. $13 billion. The story of their fundraising ability is one of the great stories of the last part of the last century and the beginning of this century. I mean, think about it. They have to raise, $5 million a day now. I think it's $5 billion. It may be more than that with this $13 billion. It's an incredible story of fundraising. And when you look at what the average donation is, it used to be like in the 20s. Now I think it's near $40 or maybe $50 per donation. But it's a phenomenal story. So I just wanted to start with that good news. Good news last night. The Grizz Summer League team, J-Mo, it looked like the real one. I mean, I was impressed.
And the Nets had some good players on their side that got a lot of minutes last year, too. So it wasn't against like a bunch of scrubs either, but put up over 100 points. It's something else.
You realize they win 120-84. You know what the significance of the 120 is?
I have no idea.
You have no idea.
Most points in the Summer League ever.
Well, halfway right. Tie for the most points in the Summer League. And Sean Kelly, who's a friend of the show, who, by the way, apparently is leaving ESPN because I believe it was Sean Kelly. It was announced that he's going to be the new voice of the University of Florida. He is giving up an ESPN gig to do football, basketball, and baseball for the University of Florida. That's incredible. That news in its own right. But anyway, he was saying last night there were 5 seconds left in the game. And the Grizzlies had just made it 120, and he goes, foul! So they could have another chance to score. But 120-84, you know what I like the best about this? Santi Aldama. I tell you, I met Santi Aldama on Miramichi.
Really? He's a golfer?
Yeah, well, he was playing by himself. I didn't recognize him. My son did. He kind of hit into us. And then when he came up, we realized it's Santi Aldama. We let him play through. But he scored 31 last night. So he had one bad game this Summer League, like the very beginning, right? Might have been was it in Utah?
Yeah, all the games in Utah, he struggled in doing more facilitating role, not scoring very much.
And then last night, 31 points, 3 blocks. The game before that, he had some points and steals, 6 steals, something like that. I mean, Santi Aldama may end up being a pretty decent player. But 31 last night. But here's my favorite thing. 31 assists. This is why they look like the real team. That's what the Grizzlies do. And how about Zaire Williams? I don't know if he's capable of making the jump that Desmond Bane did when they did the same thing to Bane a year ago, right? They put him in a position on the ball where they wanted him to get better with the ball, become a better passer, become a better ball handler, learn the offense even more intensely, more intricately, and, man, it paid off because you know they're not going to let Bane go. He's going to get big money. And this things with Zaire may end up being the same. Now, I don't think he's going to be Bane, but I think he will understand the offense better. I think he will be capable of doing more things for you. 8 assists yesterday. 8 of the 31. That's more than 25% of their assists came from this guy we thought was just a sort of a catch and shoot wing guy.
And that's really what the G League, or excuse me, the summer, I keep calling it the G League. That's really what the Summer League needed to be for Santi and for Zaire, is developing that aspect of their game so much. Even if Zaire still spends the whole season sitting in the corner back cutting, it's good to know that he has had this time to develop that part of his game.
Yeah. So the Grizzlies, didn't they win the Summer League last year?
Yeah, they did, didn't they?
Yeah.
Won the championship.
Yeah. Well, Summer League championships mean Zippo. But they've been good in the Summer League. Well, they're 4-2 now. I do love, because I've said this before. I don't think there are any other pro teams that act like the Grizzlies do. Yesterday, Dylan Brooks, when the interviews are going on with Aldama and with David Roddy, first it's Brooks who jumps on him, and then in comes John Morant. And, I mean, they're all at Summer League. How many other teams have stars at Summer League?
The Pistons would be the only other team that has
do the
their
Pistons
core.
Have any stars?
Well, that's a great, excellent point as well. They're not only at Summer League, they're on the roster for practice. No, they're not playing in the games, but that would be the only other team I can think of that has guys there like that.
I don't see, you didn't see Kevin Durant or Kyrie Irving last night, did you?
They were not there.
No. I mean, I've never seen a pro team. They're like a college team.
Truly.
It's crazy. It's crazy good.
You love that camaraderie. It's very rare in professional sports.
I really believe that's why this team has 31 assists all the time. They care about each other. They know how to play as one. I mean, it really was outstanding. The guy that I question the biggest is David Roddy, and they moved him in to go bigger because they thought that was the better matchup with Brooklyn. And he's terrific last night. And they move out Kennedy Chandler, who's not been chopped liver this Summer League. He looks like a guy who will play pretty well. So once again, the front office looks like they know what they're doing with these picks. I'm not sure about LaRavia. He did not have a good game last night. LaRavia what's his Summer League been like? I've been gone a lot. And it's not like, even though these games are on ESPN, it's not like you get intense coverage. And I'll tell you why. I have this great app on my phone called The Score. Have you got it?
Absolutely.
Look at Brian Dacus behind you. He's going, yeah, that's a great app. It is. It gives you everything, including odds, right? So you know exactly what the over-under is, who the favorite is, what it might be. It's a great app. So I go because they always give you the box and the trends and everything on this app. I mean, it's the best. And it's free, folks. Go to your app store. It's called The Score. So I go thinking, when I'm on vacation, I can catch up with all this. I'll just look on my app. They don't do Summer League. How about that? They don't do Summer League.
No
Can't get
odds or anything.
No.
But LaRavia, I'm still not sure how to pronounce the name. I think it's LaRavia.
Sean Kelly said LaRavia.
Then it's probably LaRavia. He probably knows what he's saying. He hasn't been great. The first game he was okay. He hit some open threes, but down the stretch when defense got a little more intense, he withered a bit. Now, it's hard to impress me in Summer League, but you can make me kind of be like, I gotta
skeptical?
I got to be a little skeptical.
So in other words, you can hurt your cause, but you can't help your cause.
That's kind of the way I feel about it, at least.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. He had a really nice reverse layup on a great pass, I think, from Zaire Williams last night. But, first of all, you don't get your money from what you do in Summer League.
That's right.
But you can show signs of becoming better. I think we all knew last year that Desmond Bane was going to be a really good player.
Take a big step.
Based on how he had played in the Summer League competition, because you could see better recognition, better ball handling skills. I'm kind of seeing that same thing with Zaire Williams. But I love the move they made to bring in Roddy, and Kennedy Chandler will still get plenty of opportunities along the way. And, he scored 120 points. I do kind of wish they had fouled just to see if they could get 122.
Give us the record, please.
Yeah. That record was like from back in 2006 or something. The Minnesota Timberwolves.
Long-standing. In a different summer league. Also, it was 2019 the Grizz won the summer league. So not the last season, but the season before they played before that.
Really? 19?
2019. Last year it was the Kings.
Wow. Well, that didn't translate.
No, it did not.
No. Okay. And the Open Championship starts tomorrow. We will make our picks. Johnny Lyon, Mickey Barker will be standing by momentarily. I loved yesterday. I'm going to give him a medal, so we'll talk about that in just a second. I'm doing medals today. Didn't tell you this because I'm sure you probably did it on Monday. But I figure, I've been going a long time, so it's going to be medals for a lot of different things. But Tiger and the head of the RNA blasting the LIV. I kind of love that the RNA said, Greg Norman, it's 150. We are really celebrating the history of golf that all began here, right here at St. Andrews. We're making Jack Nicklaus, we're making him an honorary citizen. Only 3 Americans or 4? One's Ben Franklin, I know that. Bobby Jones, Jack Nicklaus, and Ben Franklin. I think those are the only 3 that have ever been made honorary citizens of St. Andrews, UK.
That's right.
That's right?
Mm-hmm.
And no one knows what Franklin's handicap was. But so they're basically saying, Greg, you think you're making contributions to golf? We think you're trying to hurt golf. We don't want you at this party that celebrates the history of the game. And I know this gets really to be a thorny issue because there are plenty of people that think that Norman is doing the right thing here, that no one should ever be upset about a person's ability to make more money. And I understand that line of thinking. I mean, I wish somebody would say to me, hey, you don't have to work but a tenth of the time, and you know what? We're going to give you $100 million. That'd be great. I'd come in, do a 10-minute show, get $100 million, see you later. But when it comes to a setup of competition, and when it comes to the legacy and history of competition, and it's not like these guys aren't making money, because they are. Now, there are flaws to it. I'll be the first one to say I think out of all of this, what should come is that you are paid X amount of money. I don't care if it's 10 grand, whatever it may be, just even covering your expenses, 5 grand. But if you come to the event, if you qualified for the event, and you got to qualify, you're not given anything. If you qualify for the event, you should be paid for coming to the event. So that's a small guarantee, whatever it may be, but and everybody half the field gets the same amount of money. But what other sport do they ask you to come and play a game and not get paid? Even exhibition games where guys who are 283rd on the depth chart are getting a game fee, right?
If anything in other sports, there's a complaint of too much guaranteed money, not enough at all.
So you're asked to go and play for 2 days for nothing if you don't make it. And half the field doesn't make it. So I think that's a flaw in the system that maybe has been exposed now by the LIV. So I would think you should, in your purses, figure out a way, and let's face it, sponsors are going to end up paying for it. Ticket sales are going to end up paying for it. But I would think that the lesson learned here is, and I haven't seen anybody make any move in this direction, but I think the first thing I would do if I were Jay Monahan is I'd say, okay, that's a flaw in the system. Let's fix that. So they're guaranteed money if they come. And keep the system where you have to work your way up. I mean, if you've earned your card, you're pretty much set for a while. I know earning your card, you still have to keep every year you have to keep your ranking, but shouldn't the best players through competition have the ability to earn the money? And if you want to favor those that are the best players, the top 25 or so, 50, which is what they're doing with some of these new things they're talking about, that's okay too. Because those that are the best should make the most money. It seems to me the system is fair, other than you don't make any money if you're half the field for coming to an event. That I think we've exposed. But otherwise, I think there has to be, if you're going to have a legacy of golf and a history and things really mean things, the way the PGA is set up is better than the LIV, in my mind. And it's going to be interesting to see how they will end up, the OWGR will end up recognizing what the LIV tournaments are. Because the LIV tournaments are 54 holes. I think the OWGR is based on 72-hole tournaments. There's a lot of stuff that still has to go on. And then the RNA's got to be on board, and it sounds like they kind of are with the PGA. What is Augusta going to do? I don't know. Still a lot up in the air. But, all right, so let me give medals while I got the chance. Man, J-Mo gets a medal right there for having that so quickly ready.
We're ready to go.
Oh, man, I'm impressed. I'm going to give a bronze medal to Tiger in the RNA. And they blasted the LIV. And the guy from the RNA basically was saying, you've got to have competitive golf. And he doesn't think the LIV is. And then Tiger was the best. This is why he gets the bronze from me, because Tiger said those guys that have left for the LIV, they're turning their backs on the institution that brought them to the point where they are. And I think that was excellent. I got to give a silver medal to the NBA because they voted to keep the play-in. I think the play-in is really good. It keeps enough teams involved where your fans will care about the end of the season. And isn't that what you want? Meaningful games where you're not resting everybody, where a game at the end of February could really mean something. Into March, it could really mean something. Even if you're the 10th team in your division, you have a chance to get to the play-in. And so it keeps everybody tuned in. I like it, and I'm glad they're keeping it, and I give them a silver medal for that. My gold goes to a guy I've never really liked. Boy, watching Wimbledon was tough because, I wanted both guys to lose. Can't stand Nick Kyrgios, even though is he ever gifted. I mean, what a waste of talent with that mind. I don't get what he's doing. I mean, the between-the-leg shots to save things, that's good. Now, the stupid underhand thing, I don't understand why he's trying to do that.
His serves, though, are unbelievable.
He's in 135 miles an hour zone.
Unbelievable.
He's crazy good. And he's great with off-balance shots. And frankly, his strokes are terrific. If his mind was as good as his physical abilities, he'd be number one in the world. He'd have already won some Grand Slams. It's not like he's a young guy. He's 27 years old. By that time, Djokovic had won I don't know how many, but I'll bet it was 3 or 4 majors. Right? I don't get it. And you can't like him because he's a bully. I mean, Tsitsipas, I loved what he said. He's evil. I love that. And then Joker, of the big four, he's the least likable guy. I mean, don't forget, he's the same guy that in anger slammed the ball, hit a ball girl. Not a ball girl, a judge. I mean, crazy. But in his win, his 21st major, now he's only behind by 1 with Rafa, which you probably won't catch if Rafa wins a couple more because he's 35. He can't play in the U.S. Open because he refuses to get vaccinated, which I don't understand. Because, okay, in the beginning you could say, I don't know what this will do. Hey, Novak, 5 billion people have gotten vaccinated.
No one's dropped dead.
5 billion! Geez, for your legacy, you'd think you'd want to play. I don't know. I guess it's principle now. But in his win and the way he treated, the respect he showed Kyrgios, who didn't deserve it, really, But in that win, I think Novak Djokovic has elevated his total image. I would bet you will see more endorsements for Novak Djokovic based on how he enhanced his image with his 21st Grand Slam. What is that? 4 in a row and 6 total now in Wimbledon. That is terrific stuff. He gets my gold. My Russ goes to the Big Ten. I don't know if I was here when UCLA and USC were at it.
I think you just that was the week you left.
Yeah.
Or the week.
Crazy things tend to happen when I leave. I was just talking with Brett Norsworthy about that. Crazy stuff occurs when I go away. And the reason I'm giving the Big Ten a rest was when the SEC took Texas and Oklahoma. What did the Big Ten say? Oh, this is terrible for college sports. You know what we're going to do?
Alliance.
We're going to make an alliance.
Love the alliance.
With the ACC and the Pac-12. And we're going to band together to be the moralistic compass, the moral compass of college athletics. And what do? They turn around and poach the 2 best from the league. They have an alliance. You talk about a Benedict Arnold. Holy smokes.
I thought the alliance was strong. I don't know what happened.
Oh, gosh, is that ever terrible? And it can't be good for the U of M either, because you watch, there's going to be a Big 12, Pac-12, some kind of coalition there with the remaining teams. The ACC is so tied up, and we may do something with Steve Earhart on this in a couple of weeks. He's actually going to the Big 12 meetings this week, and, of course, Brett and Gabe will be
in Atlanta
on Monday, and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're going to have one of those guys on every day in the 10-10, 10-12 slot.
It's a shame it's not in Birmingham anymore. I know no one cares about Birmingham. I'm partial to Birmingham, but I wish it was still in Birmingham.
Well, it's still, I think it's rotating, right?
Is that right? I didn't know that. I'll look it up.
Yeah. Or somebody text us and let us know. I don't think it said goodbye to Birmingham forever, but it should rotate every once in a while. At least for the schools, like Florida.
Well, it looks like it will rotate from city to city. It doesn't have like a schedule of where, but I'm assuming probably Atlanta, Nashville, Birmingham, those big 3. Tampa maybe.
That's fair. Well, Tampa would be
Florida centric.
Yeah. But I just, not good for sports, for college sports in general. And closer to home, I don't see how that was a good thing that happened for the University of Memphis.
Also, you mentioned how many majors Djokovic might have had by 27.
Yeah, how many?
He had 7.
7? So he had a third of his majors.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I'm not saying that Nick Kyrgios won't win a major. But when you're 27, he even said it himself. He knows there's something missing.
He was super excited to just finish second. You saw his face holding the trophy.
Oh, yeah.
It's not always that jovial when someone finishes runner-up.
Well, would he have gotten there if Nadal hadn't gotten hurt? Wouldn't you have loved to have seen Joker and Nadal?
I'll see Nadal with one arm. I would have liked him to go out there with one arm.
When your core is hurt like that, it's amazing he won the quarterfinal.
That's right.
It really is. That he could do that without, half of his stomach muscles. Crazy. And those are our medals. We are busy today. I already mentioned seeing Aldama out at Miramichi. Oh, it's fun to go out to Miramichi. Right now it's in such good shape. Play the ball down. You got 7,400 yards of golf if you want 7,400 yards. I play at about 63. You can play 5,500. You've got choice. Here's the one thing that is a certain no choice. It's beautiful. You can't help yourself but gaze around. The back 9 is like a walk in the woods. There's a meandering stream. There's a waterfall. 330 acres of beauty and championship golf. And afterwards, there's the terrace. You sit outside if it's not too hot, and you can gaze at the best view in all of Shelby County. Miramichi, the gem in North Memphis. I'm sitting in the Family Leisure Studios, and we've got the 4th of July sale that occurred, all kinds of deals happening at I-40 and Whidden Road. Go see my good friend Billy or go see Lindsay. They've set it up beautifully. Everything up for grabs with the 4th of July sale. And our title sponsor, it's Homer Skelton Hyundai in Olive Branch, where you'll never pay more than sticker price on a new car. Some dealerships, the laws of supply and demand have taken over. By the way, they're getting more cars in every day. At the corner of Craft Road and Highway 78, that's Lamar in Memphis. You can't beat it. You'll never pay more than sticker price on a new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Johnny Lyon, Mickey Barker, J-Mo, we make picks. There's been a movement in the stands. J-Mo, how did this happen? You're actually in contention now.
Shout out JT Poston.
Yeah. Well, we've got the Open Championship. We'll get our take, the take of Mickey and Johnny on what the Tiger and the RNA chief said yesterday. All that comes up in just a minute here on Wolo and Friends.
You have opinions?
Yes.
Of course you do. Everyone does. Hit us up on the AutoZone listener line, 360-8255, 360-8255.
Hi, I'm Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. Can anyone explain to me why anyone would care how I measure your roof? We've all heard about measuring your roof from outer space. Well, to be honest, that's not possible. There are aerial pictures that can be taken every 4 years that can be used to measure most buildings, but it's not from outer space. Besides, no one, and I mean no one, can tell you what's wrong with your roof, or even if you need one, looking at pictures that could be 4 years old. If you'd rather do business with a family-owned and operated business with a lifelong tie to Memphis that refuses to mislead or use gimmicks, give us a call. Best products, best warranties, and the best service we know how to give. Fiveash Roof Services, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Memphis Tigers home team. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Hi, folks. Bob Burkheimer for Sunrise Buick GMC Truck. It's our 34th anniversary at Sunrise, and we're celebrating with a sale and savings that are bigger than ever. Over 600 new and used cars and trucks to choose from with huge Sunrise savings. See the entire inventory at sunrisememphis.com. Hundreds of pre-owned vehicles with a lot specializing in cars and trucks under $10,000. Credit not so hot? It's okay. At Sunrise, we specialize in secondary credit and have financing for everyone. New cars and trucks aren't free, but at least they're affordable at the 34th anniversary sale going on now at all Sunrise locations. Covington, Pike, Wolf Chase, and Collierville.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to get conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life, celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Hi, this is Jimmy Stovall with Corky's Barbecue. We have been serving up our legendary barbecue for more than 38 years right here in Memphis. Whether you're dining in, picking up in our drive-thru, or serving our famous barbecue at your party, Corky's makes it so easy for you with our party pack starting at only $7.49 per person. And you know you never have to worry about running out of food with Corky's.
Encore flavor, Corky's Barbecue.
5X480. Dayton B100 V-Belt, one of the many parts Grainger carries. It's also the item that helped Rob carry the day. The job was on hold, deadline fast approaching, but a quick search on Grainger.com and Rob found his part. And with same-day pickup at his local branch, he and his crew got the job done, safely and on time. Get supplies and solutions for every industry with real-time product availability. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Now, back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Lonely feeling deep inside. Find a corner where I can hide.
We're about to make some golf picks. Oh, miss Johnny Lyon and Mickey Barker. I love what Tiger Woods and the head of the RNA had to say. We'll ask them about that in a minute. It's brought to you by the Eflin Insurance Team. It is a team. That's the thing I love about Matt and his crew. They figure out about you and then make the right choice for your protection. It's collaboration. Not everybody does this, but Matt and his team, they sit down, they get to know you and your family, and that's what you need to know, what your priorities are and what your budget is to protect you the right way, and that's true for home insurance, auto insurance, life insurance. If you've got a business and it's a mid-size business, a small business, that is his commercial insurance expertise. And they have virtually unlimited access to programs to protect you, and they'll forecast out what you think your business is going to be like. Again, they look at your budget, and then they take care of you. And they're big Tiger fans because in their phone number, 901-386-4777, that's GURR, because they love the Tigers. So if you want to get protected the right way and you work as a unit, as a team, get a hold of the Eflin Insurance team. Johnny Lyon joins us now, as does Mickey Barker, the head of Memphis Public Golf. Let me start with you, Mickey. Yesterday, I thought Tiger Woods said it best. I mean, how he thought these live defectors were turning their back on the entity that put them in the position that they are in. The RNA was pretty positive about how they're going to change qualifications next year. Give me your sense of the pre-Open Championship press conferences. Go ahead.
I agree with them. I'm happy that Tiger, said something in his press conference. Normally, he plays everything pretty close to the vest and doesn't really give you a whole lot. But he did in this situation, and I'm happy he did. I agree with him. I do think they're kind of turning their back on the place that made them all their money. So, I'm happy he said what he did.
Johnny Lyon, you concur or dissent? Because this is a thing that it's thorny, because a lot of different people have a lot of different takes on all of this, and I think you've been sort of pro-live guys all along here.
Well, Tiger Woods is only playing in 3 events this year, and he knows where his bread is buttered, and he did make a lot of profound statements, and I think all of it is going to come back to bite him. I mean, Monday, the United States Department of Justice is investigating the PGA Tour now for anti-competitive practices, which is kind of a big deal and a shocker, because they did this in '94 and it kind of went away. This doesn't look like it's going away, and these players didn't choose to quit playing the PGA Tour. They just chose to play in some extra events. So it's the lawsuit is going to probably allow all these players to play until it's settled, and it might take 4 years.
Well, a lot of these players have said that we want to play less. Well, if you're the PGA Tour and you've got to play 15 events, and you're allowed to play the Live Tour, and the Live Tour is saying you got to play 14 events, now you're talking about playing 29 events, not including the majors. Although I think the majors are included in the PGA grouping. So you'd have to play 29 events, more than you're playing right now if you wanted to be a part of both tours. Johnny?
Yeah, it's definitely going to go to the courts and let them decide. I mean, it's all about money in the long run.
Mickey, I think if you were to try to play both 29, you couldn't do it. 29
right.
events.
That's a lot, especially for those players that we're talking about. The top players that have gone over. They're not going to play 29 events. And I don't, Bryson DeChambeau, I don't think there's any way he could physically play 29 events. It just would take too much of a toll. Koepka, his body won't hold up. DJ, I don't think he could hold his interest enough to play 29 events. So we'll see what happens. But I'm with Tiger. I think they're short-sighted in their view of this.
And Johnny, last thing on this for you. But, I hear your point. They're contract players. They should have the right to play both. But don't you agree that the tour themselves, to keep credibility for their tour, they have the right to set a minimum amount of events, don't you think?
Yeah. I mean, Jack Nicklaus, didn't just play in a lot of majors when he got older, and that's Tiger's only playing 3 events. So I mean,
well, they got grandfathered in. I think it's X amount of wins, like 25 wins on tour or X amount of years, and you are allowed that because you've become established. But if you're going to have a credible league, you have to have some guidelines. And I think that they're entitled to that. 15 is not, to me, too much at all, including the majors.
I agree with that. I don't think it's too much.
We'll let the courts decide. All right. Here's what's happened. Mickey, you've surpassed me. I'm now third on the list. But I'm only a couple of 100,000 ahead of J-Mo, who's really moved up. He's last. Mickey, you're now right behind Johnny. Johnny's got a $1.4 million advantage on us all. So the picks go J-Mo, me, and our leader, Johnny Lyon. J-Mo, we are playing 150th Anniversary Open Championship at St. Andrews. It doesn't get better than this. There's a lot out there you can get. Who are you taking?
I went back and forth and then other people. I was going back and forth for like an hour this morning, but I'm going to settle on Rory McIlroy to win this year.
That's really who I kind of wanted. So I'm going to take a long shot here. Which is leaving the door open on Spieth, on DJ, even on Finau. Tyrell Hatton's a good name there. I'm going to go with a guy who's not played up to the expectations this year that I think he should have. He has so much talent. I'm going to go. Mickey, you're going to love this because you got so many guys in front of you. Cameron Smith is who I'm taking.
I think that's a great pick because he can hit it all over the planet, and then he can just put it in from 80 yards out.
Right.
So that's a really good pick. I'd left Scheffler on the board several times this year to Johnny's delight, and he's capitalized on it. But I just can't. Jordan Spieth has played so well over there, and if he could have put it in the ocean last week, he probably would have won the Scottish. So I'm going to pick him, Jordan Spieth, at the Old Course.
Wow, you've given him Scheffler again. And Johnny, Scheffler said in his press conference yesterday, it doesn't feel like he's the number one player in the world, that he doesn't get that kind of recognition. I kind of agree with him, but I think he should be getting more recognition.
Love Scotty, but he's not who I'm picking.
Wow.
I am going with Xander.
You're going with Schauffele. I can't.
Yep.
I can't blame you for that. But you actually think he's going to win 2 weeks in a row? The only guy ever did that was Phil Mickelson.
3 weeks in a row. Yeah.
He's won his last 2 starts.
Yeah, that's right. Last 3 starts. The last 2 starts. All right, so now we got to pick our shocks. Those are our locks. J-Mo, if you take my guy, I'm going to come through the glass.
I don't think I'm going to take your guy this week because I'm going a little bit further down the rankings. I'm going to take 25-year-old. I've taken him before. He's big game Bob, Robert McIntyre.
That's my guy.
Oh, no.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. He's high in everybody's sleeper,
I love
expert picks. Robert McIntyre. They call him Robbie Mac. You're killing me. Absolutely killing me. All right. I'm gonna go with Mark Leishman. I never thought you would take him. I'm so disappointed.
I love him.
Now I hope he doesn't make the cut. All right, Mickey.
Well, not that I like him, but I'm going to go with Sergio. Just hopefully can play well enough to make a little bit of money over there.
Let me just say, I thought about him, but I've decided that I can't go with any live player from here on out. All right, Johnny, you got it.
Okay, I'm going to take my guy from Alabama, Trey Mullinax.
Trey Mullinax. Wow. Love it.
Yeah.
All right. Guys.
Coming off a win.
J-Mo's got Rory and Robbie Mack. I've got Cameron Smith and Mark Leishman. Jordan Spieth and Sergio for Mickey Barker. Xander Schauffele and Trey Mullinax for Johnny. Thank you, guys. We really appreciate it. Enjoy this because I really believe this is going to be a great tournament. Nobody took Tiger. Watch. All right, last
This
thing.
is the week.
This is truly the last thing. Everybody. Does Tiger make the cut? I say he does.
I think he does.
Wow.
Yes, I think he does.
Johnny?
No.
Of
He's limping
course.
around.
Johnny's
He
dissenting.
doesn't look good.
Johnny, I'm just going to start calling you Live Guy from here on out.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Live for the moment.
Live for the moment.
Okay.
Johnny Lyon, Mickey Barker, we thank
Thanks,
you guys
Dave.
very, very much. And they are brought to you by, well, they're sweet guys. They're brought to you by Dinstall's. Nothing sweeter than Dinstall's. I'm not sure what the Summer Sizzler special is, but all you got to do to find out is either go, because you're going to be the hit wherever you go today or tomorrow or the weekend, if you bring Cashew Crunch, Turtlettes, strawberries. Nobody dips them in that milk chocolate with that fondant like Dinstall's. It's the best. And if you want to find out what the Summer Sizzler special is, you go to any of 5 locations. That's the beauty of it. Where they make it in Pleasant View, my neck of the woods in Laurelwood. You can go Collierville. You can go Germantown. You can go downtown. You'll find Dinstall's everywhere. It's the sweet taste of Memphis for over 120 years. It is Dinstall's. And this portion of the show brought to you by Conway. Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. Got to tell you, I got a little slight problem with water that's draining out of one of my systems. I'm a Comfort Club member. I call Conway. They take care of it. They'll be here. They'll be there. They'll take care of it. That's what happens when you're a Comfort Club member. If you're not, they'll still take care of you. They'll come out, and I always say do this. You got to have, especially in the heat here, you got to have a tune-up. Makes your system last longer. It's $69. It makes your system efficient, which saves you money on your MLGW bill. $69 for that 16.2 and up. Inside, outside, they clean up all those units, get all the dirt and the grime and the leaves out, and everything hums perfectly. And guess what? Your house stays cool. All you got to do is call 384-3511, 384-3511. Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. We take a break, and when we come back, Jarvis Greer. He's fresh from a vacation. He joins us in just a minute.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
If you have damage to your home and have your insurance carrier involved, you need a great contractor. You also need a team that has seen claims of all shapes and sizes, residential or commercial. After our inspection, we'll share our findings and give you our professional opinion. Some people say you get what you pay for. However, our opinion is free. Trust the name you can depend on, like the tens of thousands of families Brian and I have served over the past 20 years here in the Mid-South. Brian Elder Roofing. We'll measure your roof from outer space and share our team's experience for your property and claim. Repaired roofs, replacement roofs, big roofs, tiny roofs, insurance roofs, flat roofs, TPO roofs, asphalt roofs, tile roofs, slate roofs, metal roofs. If your roof needs some love, call me. 901-867-0303 for Brian Elder Roofing and Contracting.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
When Chef Ryan Trim decided to open 117 Prime, Memphis' premier downtown dining destination, he was determined to make every single aspect of your experience at Prime something unique. You've heard of the huge selection of wine and bourbons at Prime, but they even brought in experts to create cocktails you literally cannot get anywhere else. The Straw Hat with Belvedere Vodka, the Borrowed Trinket with Monk's Road Barrel Aged Gin. That's just 2 of them. There are far too many to be listed here. If you want to try the rest, all you have to do is go to 117 Prime.
Hey Patriots, Colin Johnston here from DeSoto Auto Sales. And it's time to put the can in American, because this month I can help you get approved. It's the 4th of July all month long. That means it's time to break free from past credit mishaps. Even if you've been told no in the past credit problems are no problem for us. I want to help you break free in a nicer, newer car because I believe everyone deserves to drive a nicer, newer car. That's why I drafted my For the People credit approval process. Plus, my solution specialists are the American Dream Team. They can get almost anyone approved. So stop driving a car you hate because I want you to be approved and find freedom in a nicer, newer car today. You could even drive for little to no money down. But hurry, this dynamite deal won't last long. I'm Colin Johnston, your All-American dealer for the people. New rides are popping on the lot daily. See all my explosive rides at DeSotoAutoSales.com. That's DESOTO Autosales.com.
Credit and down payment require bank approval. Negative equity may be refinanced. Offer absolutely expires on July 31st, 2022.
Welcome to Allstate, where you can save just by being you. DriveWise in the Allstate mobile app gives you personalized driving feedback, and by adding it to your policy, you can save for driving safe just by being yourself. Allstate. Here, better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands with Allstate. Click, call, or visit allstate.com to save today.
Not available in every state. Savings based on DriveWise and other safe driving discounts. Savings vary. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Final portion of Hump Day Wednesday on this 13th of July. Time flies. Jarvis Greer, we haven't talked to him in a little bit. He's been on vacay. He's fresh. He's raring to go. Jarvis Greer, since you were gone, the Big Ten broke their alliance. They took UCLA and USC from the Pac-12. The SEC is now talking about maybe 20. Could they get to 20 teams? And if they did, they would play 3 rivalry games every year, then rotate 8 teams that remain. So you play everybody, I guess, once every 3 years. And they would play only 1 non-conference game. College football is going to be totally different in 5 years, don't you think?
I don't like the direction that's going because it means like you're only going to play your league, and that's pretty much it. And it just gets kind of bland after that. You think you'll have all these great matchups, and me, you know me, Dave. I'm for the little guy, and we've always kind of been in that position.
Right.
And at Memphis, and it doesn't seem that they want to shut everybody else out. They don't want to let anybody else get in on the party. They want all the money. I mean, all the money, and they don't want anybody else to have any money. And that's the way it's. It looks like it might head. And I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. How about you?
No. Unfortunately, they're not asking us. They're not going to listen to us. And
no, they're not.
It is going to change the way everything will go. I would not be shocked if both the Big Ten and the SEC went to 20. The Big 12 and the Pac-12 would probably have to have some kind of an alliance. It's really nuts with the ACC because they're so tied up. I think each school would have to come up with like $350 million to get out of the deal, which is pretty cost prohibitive.
Their grant of rights deal,
yeah.
TV, or what is not up till 2036 or some
yeah,
sort
it's
of
36.
crazy.
That's correct.
Yeah, and so you would think that they'd be stuck, but I don't know. There's schools out there that would love to be a part of the party.
Well,
and they're.
If you think about it, the best place for Memphis, if that scenario went, where there's 20 in the SEC and there's 20 in the Big Ten, Pac-12 and Big 12 merged, so geographically Memphis is probably not in a great spot there. Who knows, but probably not. Now maybe it's the ACC that is your next best hope. You got Louisville sitting over there. Virginia Tech was once in your conference in the old Metro.
And a rival.
Played
them in football, too.
So maybe they'd open up the door. That might be your next best look if all this passes the way we're conjecturing here. And I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know. But I don't think what occurred with the Big Ten breaking their alliance with the Pac-12, I don't think that was a good thing for Memphis. I thought the way things were going once Texas and Oklahoma left, that Memphis had a real chance to get in the Big 12. Now, if there is a Pac-12 Big 12 merger, that seems a little further away.
Well, they're talking about the two Arizona schools maybe coming to the Big 12, Arizona and Arizona State. Now, that's a long way to go to get to any school close to the Big 12 to go all the way out to Arizona to do when you got Memphis sitting here right basically in your backyard. And, Memphis football has been as good as either one of those two schools lately.
Well, Colorado makes sense because geographically that they used to be in that.
Well, they used to be in the Big 8.
Right.
Yeah. So that makes sense. I get that. And so it sure makes Jackie Sherrill look like a genius, doesn't it? You were on the program, I think, when he made that prediction.
He was George
many years ago
with George Lapidus, and he said there would end up being. I think he said there'd be 80 teams, maybe 4 leagues of 20, and that could end up happening. I hope it's 5 leagues of 20. That's 100 schools, and then Memphis could get in the dance. I have no idea how it will all play out. If you really think about it, this is all television, and it seems to me it's the ESPNers with the SEC versus the Big Teners with the Fox Network, and it's almost NFC AFC. It really kind of looks that way. I don't know if those other schools bring enough television charm to the table. And that's where it becomes troublesome. You've got to replace. For instance, when the Big 12 lost Texas and Oklahoma, everybody that was out there, and they grabbed BYU, and they grabbed Cincinnati, and they grabbed Houston, and those are big television markets, bigger than Memphis. So they were never going to replace Texas and Oklahoma. They got what was the best, but they couldn't replace that. Now, the further you keep going, so I've always been saying the best of the rest is Memphis and probably Boise or SMU. Probably SMU because you get the Dallas TV market.
Get the Dallas market.
So,
but they already have it.
They do.
They've already got the Dallas.
They got it with TCU.
Yeah. That's the SEC's claim to why they don't have to
come here,
Memphis,
right?
Because they already got the market here. And gee whiz, you'd have so much more fun if it was included, in my humble opinion. But like I said, what do I know? You said best of the rest. The only thing you can do. Remember what Louisville did, these many years ago. When I forget the athletic director they had. They were really
Tom Jurich was his name.
Yeah, Jurich.
And he had the vision.
Right.
He talked to Papa John, the guy that owned Papa John's at that time. And they built that incredible stadium, which really and truly was a state-of-the-art stadium, and they started winning.
And they built it where it could be added to, which they have since done. And they started winning. But not only in football, they started winning. They improved all of their programs. If you look now, you see in every NCAA tournament there's a Louisville team. Whether it be women's basketball, men's basketball has been in and out, and that's only because they run afoul of the law a few times, but football's been up there, and big bowl games, and their track and soccer. Everything they have done has elevated everything else that they have done, and they were very, very smart in putting every dime of that they made back into their programs, and it got them into what first was the Big East, and now they're in they're rolling.
They're rolling.
So,
Well, all Memphis can do is I think you got to go ahead with the $200 million renovation of the Liberty Bowl Stadium, Simmons Bank Liberty Bowl Stadium.
Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, yeah.
You got to do that. You got to do that. And
that's a no-brainer.
And you got to keep winning. And here's what you got to hope for, honestly, that if you're not invited to the big dance with the big guys to begin with here, and people have to remember because This has been going on for as long as I've been doing talk radio in 1983. Conference realignment is not a finality. It's an evolutionary process. It keeps on happening. It's happened my entire lifetime. So I don't think this is the last time. What you got to do is hope that whatever configuration the new groups come up with, that they will allow a group of 5 to have a chance to make the playoff. And then if you keep winning, you keep your name up there because you're in position to make the playoff.
Yeah, and that's what they had going pretty much there with Mike and all those kids of running back when we got to the Cotton Bowl, when Memphis made to the Cotton Bowl. And, it was going pretty good. Okay, a lot of those guys graduated. You got to start over. I do believe if Memphis can find a good running game, they'll have a chance to be back up there again. And, you say it's timing. Part of it was, maybe we hit a year too early, did the Tigers. But, these other schools, like Cincinnati's got thousand students. UCF has got, 1 million students. Then it's 70-some-odd thousand.
They're the biggest school in the country now. I think they've surpassed Arizona State. Yeah.
You know what?
We will talk Tiger football next week, but we are out of time.
Okay.
Glad to have you back.
Wow. Oh, we didn't get a chance to talk about the 120 points the Grizz scored last night. They tied the record for most points in a summer league game.
We talked.
That was fun.
Santi Aldama looks like he's starting to come along. Zaire Williams is taking the same kind of path Desmond Bain took. It's good stuff. It's real good stuff.
Yep.
Thank you, my friend. Glad to have you back.
Okay, Dave. You too. All right.
That is Jarvis Greer from Action News 5. He's brought to you in part by the good folks at Grind City Brewing and what the doctor ordered. That's the Pilsner, Poppy's Pills. I love this line. Remember how Taco Bell started selling, stopped selling the Mexican pizza. Now they're selling it again. You can't get in. Everybody lost their minds. Poppy's Pilsner is the only thing that could ease the broken heart. That was a quote about how good Poppy's Pills is. The Pilsner is light, crisp, and refreshing. They say it's ultra crushable. It's available in 6-packs or 15-packs. It's best enjoyed ice cold, like on a hot day like today. If you're playing golf or mowing your lawn, working on your pool, nothing beats Poppy's Pills. It's made right here in Memphis from Grind City Brewing. It's the very best. Tomorrow, I think we're going to have Ben Pierman on early. We've got Russell Copeland. We got lots more coming your way tomorrow. We'll do it again then. Johnny Radio's next.
I know the sweetest thing in Memphis.